Hello, today we're going to review the sport promotional mix. In this chapter, we're going to look at the communication process and the buyer readiness model, AIDA. We're going to look at concepts related to promotional strategy. We're going to look at the different components of the promotional mix, at least introduce them into this chapter. We're going to look at procedures for selecting the right promotional mix as if they are ingredients for a recipe or tools to be used to build something. We're going to look at personal selling, we're going to look at escalator selling, and we're going to look at sales techniques. So what is promotional strategy? Like other definitions of strategy that we've looked at during this semester, promotional strategy is a controlled, integrated program of communication designed to present an organization and/or its products or services clearly to prospective consumers. So this idea that we need to present this idea of what our organization, our brand, our product is, we want to clearly think about the goals and the objectives prior to us deciding on how we're going to do it. Promotional strategy communicates need-satisfying attributes, those benefits that consumers are looking for. And the communication occurs when an individual attends to the message and attributes importance to it. We need to fight through different types of clutter in order to connect with a potential consumer and have them participate in this communication exchange. So communication involves a message content, cultural, social, psychological, temporal, and source. We're looking at the idea of intended receivers and how do they receive that information, how do they encode it and then decode it, and what type of takeaways do they have from it. Messages don't always need to be verbal. Nonverbal communication is very powerful, much like print ad or something along those lines. It doesn't have any verbal aspects to it where we're showing people different things is certainly very important. So we look at this term in the response model. How do we get a response from a potential consumer? One method or one theory that we look at is AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. So first we have to grab the attention of a consumer. Certainly everyday life is very distracting and we need to get and hold their attention for a couple of seconds. We need to create an interest so they'll buy into this type of communication message. We have to create a desire for the product, a desire to participate with our product or our brand or our sport organization, and then we have to move them to act. We have to get them to engage in the purchasing process. So if we're looking at marketing via sport, promotions often soften the marketplace, making the consumer more receptive to the overtures of the sponsor. In other words, marketing via sport, using the sport aspect of it, puts the potential consumer in a better mood. Thus, they are much better and much easier to engage into the communication process. So we look at promotional strategy. We look at our individual analysis, stuff that we've looked at the first 7 or 8 weeks, going through our SWOT analysis, our PEST analysis, our legal, our ethical, what's our mission and vision, what's our financial distribution, all that stuff to set out what, in fact, would our objective be. What is a target audience? What are our SMART objectives? What is our budget? And then we need to establish programs. First, we look at creative strategy, and then what is our media strategy? And then we need to evaluate our program. So we look at this idea of program development, this idea of the research and the analysis that we've already done. Then we start setting our target market and our goals and objectives, and we looked at that in a couple of weeks ago. Then this situation analysis. Now we're looking at this idea of how do we go about tactically getting to that SMART objective? How do we tactically connect to that target audience? And that is what the promotional mix is. Promotional mix is advertising, public relations, sales promotion, which includes licensing and personal selling. How do we use these mixed materials in order to create a communication message to that consumer and have them respond? Advertising. The key with advertising is it's paid, non-personal communication. It differentiates itself from other types of mixed elements because it is paid. We are paying a television network or show. We are paying a newspaper or radio ad. We are paying a social media platform. We are paying a billboard. We are doing some sort of advertising. We're paying somebody to deliver a communication that we've developed ourselves. The key to the effective campaign, we have to know the product. We have to know what makes a consumer motivated to purchase our product. What are the wants and needs? And we also have to know the consumer, their demographics, their buying behaviors. Where and when do they go to get media consumption? So pros of advertising, we can control the time, placement, and content of the message. We buy that type of message placement. Cons, it can be very costly both to create the message as well as the media that we need to put it out there. If we look at the Betra, Myers, and Aker model, we look at the fact that we go through a source, message, channel, receiver, and destination. We create the source. We are able to go television or radio or billboard. We pick and choose when and where we put the message out. We create the message. We create exactly what we want to say. We create the channel. All of those are controllable because we're buying those elements. The receiver, our potential consumer, is not controllable for us. We don't control whether they're listening to the radio. Hopefully they are. Or that they're distracted because they're driving at that point. Or they get up to go to the restroom or go to the kitchen during a soccer match instead of watching our advertising content. We can't control what they think and they feel about that message. We can't control how they respond to that message. Do they go to purchase? Do they share it with other people, and what that manner is? So we look at some controllable elements and we look at some non-controllable elements. Publicity, in comparison to advertising, it's non-paid. It's a non-personal communication. I'm directing it to multiples and I'm not paying. Somebody delivers the message for me, which makes it much more powerful. When you see the television anchor or news anchor or sports reporter delivering information about my product or my team, it is much more powerful than my advertising because a third party's doing it. Some advantages of it, much less costly because I don't have to buy that time. Some negatives, I can't control when or if they're going to do the story that I'd like, and I don't control the fact that they can do a negative aspect of the story, or they have negative publicity against my team or my product or my brand. Sales promotion is a set of promotional activities that stimulate and supports advertising, personal selling, and publicity. It is great in leveraging other types of marketing mix elements. When we think of sales promotion, we think of a short-term incentive. What can I offer a consumer to make a purchase right now? We can look at a price promotion. Price promotion means we're manipulating the price. We can either decrease the price or do a coupon or buy one, get one free incentive or a group discount. Somehow we're manipulating the price, as opposed to a non-price promotion where I'm giving someone an advantage or extra value for their price, a giveaway, a tchotchke, a premium. When we look at a price promotion, oftentimes it harms our brand. If we keep lowering the price for our consumers, it shows that we don't think that the value of our organization is equal to the ticket price. For instance, if our ticket price is $20 and then right before a game I'm handing tickets out for $10, then what I'm saying is my product isn't worth $20, it's worth $10. Also, long term, if I have season ticket holders paying $20, they're going to see all of these discounted tickets and wonder, why am I paying $20 when everyone else is paying $10? I also look at this idea perhaps that non-price promotions might be able to deliver more money and revenue for me. For instance, if I'm selling tickets at $20 and no one's buying them, and I have to give them away or sell them for $10, I'm making $10 per ticket. However, if I take that same $20 and I know that people aren't going to buy them at 20, but they will pay 10 for them, I can get some sort of premium that people think is worth $10. So I can sell you a ticket for $10. I can include in that ticket a perceived value of $10. Maybe it's a poster or a hat. So you're paying $20 for the ticket. In your mind, you're paying 10 for the ticket itself and 10 for this other premium item. If that premium item costs me $5, I'm actually now making $15 on that ticket sale. I'm receiving $20 in revenue and I'm paying $5 for the premium, so I'm making 15. In the first price promotion, I'm only making 10. So I'm increasing my brand value. People are getting more value for what they're paying, and I'm also receiving more revenue. Some promotions, some advantages, for this. It's easily tracked. I can count how many coupons are redeemed. I can look at these different aspects and evaluate whether or not it works. Some cons, there's an increase in cost. I need to inventory some of these premiums. I need to house them. If for some reason the premium doesn't match with what my consumers want, or maybe weather affects it, and I have this increased amount of promotional items that I need to get rid of, and it's an upfront cost. So there's some aspects to price promotions and non-price promotions. When I look at sales promotions, a price promotion may be able to attract new consumers, people who aren't willing to spend $20. Maybe those non-consumers are a light consumer. I can also create an incentive for multiple purchases. And this is different than just a price drop. Maybe at $20 tickets, I can get people to buy 3 games for $50 as opposed to $60. So I'm incentivizing them to come more often. I'm not just giving them a discount to come to this one game. When I look at promotional components, I want to make sure that they have a thematic to them. If I have a sponsorship, I may want my promotions to reflect that. If I do a coupon in the Sunday paper or online and I have a team sponsorship, I may want to theme that coupon with the team. Maybe have my giveaways team presented. So I can do different aspects to my promotional elements and include a sponsorship. And in a sense, that actually makes it more of an advertising aspect or public relations, because I'm now communicating to different consumers and different targets about my associations. An effective use of promotions. Promotions can increase perceived value at one price. I can give you more. For instance, the example about value using a non-price promotion. Having that giveaway, I can keep that price integrity. Personal selling is paid personal communication. This is a one-to-one or a one-to-very few idea where a personal salesperson is making a presentation, is trying to convince you to make a sale. Some advantages: personal service, immediate feedback from a potential consumer. I can change the offering. If you're telling me, if I'm offering that $20 ticket and it's too expensive for you, maybe at $10 I can offer you a different section of the stadium. I can manipulate my product in a way that I can't do it any other way. I can create a relationship with you. I can build a relationship where it's not just a sale now, but I'm looking at perhaps a lifetime of sales. Some negatives: very high cost, whether it's the cost of the individual salesperson, their time, travel, materials. Some of the other elements of this promotional mix or marketing mix are able to connect to more people differently. Motivation of a salesperson. Motivation is the desire to expend effort to fulfill a need. When we look at salespersons, we're looking at intensity, persistence, and choice. Intensity, the amount of effort a salesperson expends. Persistence, how long will a salesperson continue to put forth the effort? Knowing that sales is typically a numbers job. If I know that a person isn't ready to buy right now, how many times am I going to go to them? 5 times, 10 times before I make a sale? And choice, when I look at this different priority of all these different things that I need to do, intensity, persistence, and choice really directs that salesperson's effort. How do we accomplish things? These are three different types of motivations that we do as students as well. The intensity, persistence, and choice of what we're going to try to accomplish. I look at some other textbooks or non-textbooks rather, some general sales books, and Cathcart's relationship selling is really interesting because it gets away from this traditional selling. Maybe your prototypical used car salesman where he's trying to sell you this car regardless of if the benefits to you or not, where it's only one direction, benefit to the salesperson, where the close, the sale is number one, where I have a sales pitch, I have a canned approach. We're very much adversaries. You don't want to give up your money. I want to take your money. A relationship point of view is much different. I'm looking to create benefits for you through this sale. I want to make sure that you are successful. For instance, if I'm looking to sell a suite at my soccer stadium, in the traditional selling, I'm looking to sell you the suite, and that's about it. In a relationship selling point of view, I'm looking not just to sell you the suite, but I'm looking to find out what you're going to use it for, what your B2B initiatives will be. And then I want to make sure that I can create a situation where you are using that suite to the best of its ability. If you're looking to, maybe you're a beverage company and you're looking to use this suite to increase your sales, I want to make sure that everything in that suite is conducive to your sales pitch. I want to make sure your sight lines are good. I want to make sure at times you're closed and you're very private. I want to make sure that you are successful in your purchase so that we've created this relationship so that the benefits are for both of us. John Spolstra talks about ice to the Eskimo. This idea that one of the most innovative people in sport marketing, that oftentimes it's much easier to increase sales by increasing frequency of purchases by your existing customers. That to get somebody to go to from 3 games to 5 games is going to be much easier than to get somebody brand new to go to 2 games. That if we find out you're using B2B initiatives, I want to know the name and address of the end user. I want to know your salespeople because they're potential clients for me. I want to only sell you a product that you want to buy or something that you need to buy. Ties into that relationship selling aspect where I'm not going to sell you something you don't want because you're not going to come back. I want to target people who are interested. I want to make the client a bona fide real life hero. Again, back to that relationship marketing. If I'm selling you a suite and you're able to use that suite to make more of your own sales, you're going to buy that suite again. You're going to be the hero for your organization. I want to make sure that you're that hero. When I look at the Sponsorship Seekers Toolkit, when I am seeking people to buy my sponsorship, I want to look at a few different things if I'm on property side. First, I want to know what I have to offer. What is my inventory? I have a group of consumers. How can we get different clients to connect to them? How can potential clients access one or more of the target audiences? How can they gain tangible benefits? How can a sponsor seeker look at potential sponsors and see how the sponsors can move their needle? How can they increase their sales by using this property? Presenting to Win is another great book, and I highly recommend this Weissman book, especially for people who are a little nervous in making presentations. Weissman talks about different aspects. It's not a static presentation. It's actually creating this element where we're talking to an audience, that there are 4 different aspects to it. 1, what is your point B? Where are you trying to take your audience? You start off at point A, where do you want to end them up? As opposed to going through step by step by step with a standard presentation, where do I want to end up and then backfill? Who is your audience and what is their Wi-Fi? Meaning, what's in it for you? Always remembering during your presentations, putting yourself into that audience member's position. This is interesting to me because this is important to me because. Always presenting it into the benefits of that audience? What are my Roman columns? What are my clusters of information? Where can I group things so that it's easily presented? And then how do I put those clusters of information in terms of a regular flow structure to get me from point A to point B? Here's an example of the escalator clause again, that we can look at these different types of marketing mix in order to connect to people as they move up this escalator concept. We have non-consumers. So for a non-consumer to get them to become an indirect consumer, a salesperson really would not be effective. Whereas advertising probably would be effective, especially when we start talking about big games and a non-consumer. I want to get you to watch a game. I need to tell you where and when and why you want to watch this on TV. To get an indirect consumer to go to a first game, maybe a sales promotion is what I need. You're already watching the game, you're at home, you're not spending a lot of money. However, I want you to get to the game, and games are $20 each, so I can do that promotion, that non-price promotion. I can give you a hat, a fireworks night, an after game concert, something to get you to that game and get you into light users. And again, still look at different types of promotions to get you go to more than one game, 5 games, 10 games. If I want to get you as a medium user or a heavy user and sell you a season ticket, now a salesperson to develop that one-to-one connection is probably more effective. So we can look at this frequency escalator concept and really look at how we can use that marketing mix in different manners to connect to our audience. Again, non-consumers, advertising campaigns inform and educate people. We look at indirect consumers, sales promotions. I really like non-price. Sometimes price is needed. Direct consumers, breaking up between heavy consumers, medium consumers, light consumers. So we can look at different types of ways to connect with them.